I'm with TNA. Today's guest, I have Ashley Hendren for Chapter 36, Mental Health. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Let's do our first cheers. Cheers. So today I am drinking Liquid IV.
Me too.
Oh, really? I swear by it. It's honestly, when I got my second vaccine of Moderna, I didn't get any symptoms after, and I swear it's because I had like 3 liquid IVs a day. And I honestly think that's why I got sick in Hawaii, because we weren't drinking as much water and those as we usually do. But now I'm trying to recover. So aren't you don't you get sponsored or something by them?
Yeah, so I actually reached out to them to see if they work with influencers, and they said, yeah, we would love to work with you. So they sent me a bunch of different ones to try, and I love them.
Oh wow. So what flavors? Because the only flavor I've ever had is strawberry, but
Okay.
I'm super picky, and we get ours at Costco, and I think they only have like 3 flavors, and I don't like the other 2.
Okay. Yeah, so I tried the lemon lime, which was okay. The acai berry, I believe it was. That one was really good. And then the tangerine, I also really like. But the guava is the one that I've been drinking lately. I love the guava.
I'll have to try that. So can I purchase the guava one anywhere else, or just through like them?
I think it's just through them.
Okay.
I know that Costco is going to be selling more flavors soon, so hopefully you'll be able to get some different variety of a flavor.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough with this liquid IV. You would think that I was, sponsored by them too. But I just want to give everyone a little fun fact about Ashley. Ashley and I actually just met yesterday through social media, well, through Zoom. But her and I met about a year right before the pandemic happened. So a year and a half now, on Instagram. We started following each other. We both love Halloween. We both love Disney. So we had a lot in common. Unfortunately, her and I have not met in person yet, but maybe once, things are going to start opening up a little bit more. And if I ever get my job back at Disney, maybe we can meet each other there. But so on today's chapter, obviously, we're talking about mental health. May was Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is a perfect time to talk about it. Like I was telling Ashley, it really shouldn't be just a month. It is something that we should be talking about and educating each other on daily. So this is actually the perfect time to do this chapter. Ashley's going to go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper as to her experience with mental health. And obviously, you guys have, if you've seen any of my other chapters, I've talked about my depression, I've talked about my anxiety, I've talked about body image, literally everything. So now this is her time to share her story in regards to mental health.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be doing this with you. I've been waiting forever. So when you reached out to me, I was like, okay, there's so many things I could possibly talk about, but mental health obviously is a huge thing for you as well. So I decided that would be the best thing for me to talk about. Because, like you said, last month was Mental Health Awareness Month, and I am a big advocate for mental health. So I wanted to share a little bit about why I struggle and what I struggle with and when it started. So we'll rewind to my high school years. Basically, is when it all started. I didn't really know in the moment that I was struggling with depression. I kind of hid it from everyone, so I didn't know the warning signs. I didn't know what anxiety was. We didn't really talk about those kind of things like within my family. So I unfortunately just struggled with things on my own, and I didn't share anything with anyone because I felt like, oh no, everyone's going to see me as broken or damaged. And I didn't want anyone to view me that way. So I always cared about what everyone else thought of me. And so I'm like, no, I can't share those things with people.
And you're around my age, right?
Yeah, I'm 32.
Okay, I'm 35. So, especially then, it wasn't a huge thing. There was no such thing as social media. We were barely getting our cell phones in high school. Like, so it was totally different. And you were considered weird or weak, or, if I remember even like being near at the doctor's, and let's say the um psychiatry was on the second floor, like you'd be like, oh shit, they got off the second floor, like there's something wrong with them,
Yeah.
you know?
There was this stigma around it, and a couple of people I knew went to therapy or saw psychiatrists, and they were looked at in a negative way, and I'm like, oh well, maybe I don't need that kind of therapy or help, because I don't want anyone to see me as broken or there was anything wrong with me. So I just kind of dealt with it on my own, and it kind of just spiraled out, and then I got married at 18, which I felt like I was just trying to put a band-aid on the situation. Like I wanted to leave and start a new life, and I thought this was my way to get out of, my hometown and to start a new life and to really just start over. And that, like I said, was a band-aid to the situation. So the marriage ended when I was 25. And that is when I really started to notice that my mental health was at an all-time low, and just really going through my divorce and really looking at myself and focusing on myself for the first time in my life was really hard. I wanted to be a different person. I wanted to finally be me and just be the genuine, real person that some of my friends saw, but not everyone knew who I really was. So
Yeah.
I wanted to just, focus on myself, and it was hard. It wasn't easy. And when I was going through my divorce, it was like I want to say like maybe a month in, I just had like this epiphany moment because I was just at my lowest and I was so depressed. I didn't want to go anywhere. I would go to work and go home, and that was it. I would literally sleep, eat, and watch TV, and I would do nothing. I didn't want to hang out with anyone. I was just in this funk, and I just couldn't get out of it. And it
Did
was
you
just,
know that you were depressed? Like, did you recognize it then?
yeah, so my mom had mentioned something to me about, going out with the family and stuff, and I'm like, "No, I really don't want to see anyone." And she kind of like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "You know what? No, I'm not okay." And it just kind of made me realize like I'm really not okay. And I'm just pretending like everything's fine, and I'm not telling anyone really what I'm going through. And so I would literally go to work every day and nobody knew what was going on with me. And nobody knew I was going through a divorce. Nobody knew that he left me. And so they were like, ask me questions, and then I would just break down and cry, and I couldn't talk about it. And that was the time when I realized like, wow, I'm really depressed. Like this is what depression is. I don't want to eat, and I'm a foodie, so that's not normal for me. So I don't want to eat. I just want to sleep and be in bed, and all I want to do is watch TV. And I didn't even really want to go to work, but I pushed myself to go to work, because I had to. But yeah, that's when I really noticed it, and it was rough. And I one day I thought, you know what? No, I'm not gonna let him get me down, because I was putting everything like, oh, well, what could have been. And I was so caught up in like the love that we had, but really it was a toxic relationship that I was I was free of. And it took me, like a few weeks to realize like, oh, I am free of that person now. The person that was dragging me back, the person that wouldn't let me be myself, the person that was very toxic, he's gone now. And now I could truly be me and truly start over. And so I decided, and it just took one day. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be happier today. And I'm going to tell myself good things, positive things, at least one, because I know it's hard. I at least need to find one positive in the day that I could really focus on, and that will change my whole day. So that's really what I started to do. Is to
And
focus.
the thing that's crazy though, Ashley, is that like you went through your depression, not even, I don't want to diminish what depression you went through, but it wasn't as long as it could have been, you
Yes.
know? And to think that there are people out in the world who go through depressions way longer, they go through depression for years.
Yeah.
What you went through with this divorce and this depression and already feeling bad about yourself and, what did I do wrong? Why me? This whole thing that we do to ourselves. There are people out there who do this for years. And so the fact that you recognize that at a young age, like at 25, you are already getting divorced and you're already recognizing, I don't want to live my fucking life this way. I deserve more. I'm a badass woman. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
At 25, I was partying, I was drinking, I was a freaking wreck. I didn't know what I want. I was literally living the single life, dating like five guys at once, like just totally different lifestyle than you were. So the fact that you were able to do all of that at 25 shows your strength, shows how determined you are as a person, because to be able to do what you did, like, I'm in awe that, like, there's no way. I feel like when I look back when I was that age that I could have gone through all of that. So I applaud you on
Thank
that.
you.
So you mentioned that you would think of positive things to kind of get yourself out of it. Can you kind of share some of those with us?
Yeah. So I would just think of one thing. I have a job, I have a job that I love. I have a car, or, and those are things that I accomplished. Those are things that I did. And instead of focusing on things that really were taken away from me, I was focusing more on things that I had and things that I have going for myself. And I was moving up, essentially with TJ Maxx, and so you know I kept just wanting to move up and grow in the company. And so I just focused on, what? I am moving up in the company. I'm making a career. I have a car. I have amazing friends and family that all love me. And, also body image as well. I would tell myself, you know what? You're going to get an amazing body because you were going to eat right and you were going to exercise. And I did. I really focused on myself and bettering myself, and I felt amazing, and I did lose weight, and I did feel really confident in my own skin. And just little things every day that I would do, really looking at myself in the mirror and just telling myself that I'm beautiful, telling myself that I am a badass bitch, and that I deserve everything that I want in this world and more. And just telling myself those things every single day really helped me grow and become a more positive person, because I wasn't positive before. Before 25, I was, everything, oh, poor me, everything happens to me. But then once that moment hit where I was divorced and going on with my adult life, it was like, no, I'm in control of my own life and I can get through anything. And so just to remind myself daily, like what I've been through, what I've gone through. And because my marriage was a disaster, just thinking of things that I had gone through and that I've overcome and where I am now, just little things every day to remind myself that it's okay to not be okay, but I have come from, the you know, deepest depression that I ever had. And now I came out of it and I'm just this positive person. And I just want to share that with everyone and really inspire others. So,
Well, I think what you said really hit it, was reminding yourself daily, because it's something that we have to do. It's work, right? It takes, we have to retrain our mind, we have to retrain our brain and everything that goes on here. So what does that mean? Okay, well then we are waking up every day and having a mantra, an affirmation, a prayer, whatever it is, but you have to do it daily. What do they say? It takes 21 days to make a habit.
yeah.
And so it takes so much time, just like people who work out, people who eat healthy, people who are, whatever it is, you have to work on it every single day. And I think that's the hard thing with mental health, because people already assume when it comes to a workout that you're not just going to instantly drop weight, right? You have to really put the time and effort and the work into it to lose weight. But people are not realizing the same goes with your mental health. The same thing goes with your mind and what is going on in here. You have to work on it every single day, um, in order to get to grow that positive habit. It's not just going to happen overnight. So have you, okay, so now this was you at 25. You were now 32, you said. Have you had a depression since?
Yes. So basically, when COVID basically hit hard and I was sent home essentially from work for 2.5 months, that's really when my anxiety started kicking in because I didn't know what was going on. We didn't really have any information or anything about COVID, like what could happen, and so everything was just the fear of the unknown just kind of controlled me, and I didn't want to go to the grocery store. I didn't even want to go anywhere. So for two solid weeks, I just stayed in my apartment by myself because I was home. My boyfriend is an essential worker. He works for a grocery store, so I would have him, bring things home daily because I didn't want to go anywhere. And so I was home by myself and I didn't really know what to do with my life. I'm like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't know how long, I'm going to be at home for, and or what's even going to happen in the world. I don't even know if we're going to be able to go outside again. It was just this fear of what's going to happen, and it just kind of caused me to be depressed, and I was not wanting to get out of my clothes, not wanting to take a shower, not wanting to take care of myself. I would order food to come to the house because I didn't want to cook for myself. I knew I had to eat, so I would just order food and just have it come for me. And it was a couple weeks, and then I'm like, you know what? No, we're not doing this. You know, there's nothing for me to feel sorry for myself for. I'm still getting paid. My job was still paying me. I am lucky that I'm able to be at home and get paid. And I'm lucky that, I have an apartment and I have a place to live. And I'm looking at the positives because so many other people had it worse off. And I just felt so bad for all those other people going through it, like, losing their jobs and everything. So I'm like, no, we're not going to have a pity party here, the whole time you're at home. So I had to really get myself out of it and figure out something that I could do daily. And of course, there's so much cleaning you could do or organizing you could do before you drive yourself nuts. So I decided, okay, what makes me happy? Besides watching TV, because you can only watch so much TV, or Grey's Anatomy is what I was into. So I decided, you know what? Disney makes me happy. And obviously, I can't go to Disney. So why not bring Disney home? So I started, playing around with the makeup and just experimenting and having fun and, dressing up. I have clothes. I have tons of clothes, why not put together some looks? And I had never done Disney bounding before. And so I'm like, you know what? I found all these Disney bounding people on Instagram and TikTok. And I'm like, you know what? I could do that. I can dress up like Disney characters too. So I started really focusing on my Instagram page because that's where I felt like I had people that really knew how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And so we all connected, on a different level, and we all shared the same passion for Disney. And so we were all kind of going through it. And then I just started jumping into challenges and, really dressing up and having fun with it. And that's really what got me through. And it's cheesy as it sounds, but Disney really, inspired me to get up and get going through the day and really do something that made me happy. So
Well,
that's
and Disney is the community, those people who don't understand the hype, the obsession, the craze, whatever it is because they don't understand that it truly is a community. You're not the only person I've met on Instagram because of a Disney hashtag or a Disney tag of some sort. And that's what's so great about it. And you found that light, right? That's what all of us need. We need that light at the end of the tunnel. And Disney was that light. Okay, well, I can't go to Disneyland. What's next? Oh, look at my closet. It's filled with all this Disney merch. So why not have fun with it? And you did so many amazing looks. I mean, you did like a Rapunzel look. You did, I think, a Ursula look. I mean, so many different fun eyeshadows that you recreated. And it is an involvement. And what I love most about you, Ashley, on your social media is you would repost your other people's posts, right? So it wasn't just your bounding or your makeup designs. You had other friends that you follow and you would repost theirs too and show that, okay, look at this is why I'm doing this challenge. There's 5 other females out here who are doing the same challenge. just changing the characters up. And it just made it made I know for me personally, it made me feel like, oh, this is so cute. I love this. I was so excited every day to see, okay, what is she doing next? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and a lot of people, and that's why I continue to do it as well. It wasn't just for me, but it was also for other people that were also going through the same thing. You know, they were depressed, or they really didn't know what to do with their time. They were inspired by me to start dressing up or to start, doing their makeup again. And really, I felt like I found my community on Instagram, and we all, just started to inspire each other. And I know a lot of people have this negative stigma against social media, but it all it all depends on who you follow and who you let in your life. You don't have to follow those toxic people. Like, I cut them out. If there's anyone that's toxic on my Instagram, I cut them out right away. I don't want to follow you if you're going to be toxic and negative, or bully me for whatever reason. I did have a lot of people tell me that I'm spending too much money, or that I shouldn't be doing my makeup every day and those kind of things. Yes. So I was like, no, we're not doing this. So I had to cut all those people out and, block those people, because Instagram can be negative. But when I really found my people, and when I really found people that I wanted to connect with, um, it really changed things for me. And I turned it into a positive, rather than a lot of people, want to be on social media because of all the negativity. But I really found, you know, all the positive and the light in Instagram, and I just kind of drew myself more towards that, rather than like focus on all the negative accounts that, just people
Yeah.
don't deal with.
Do you can you honestly say your social media helped you overcome your depression during the pandemic?
Yes. I was home by myself, and although I am an introvert, so I do like to be by myself, but just really socializing with people online really helped me, because we all need social interaction. We all need it. And so I just kind of felt like I was going a little bit insane by myself. And so just to have that interaction with people that really understood what I was going through, and they were going through it as well, it really helped me through it. And I honestly love my Instagram page, and I love going on there, and I love, you know, sharing looks, but I also love going to other people's Instagram pages and sharing the love there. And so I really felt like that did turn the negative into a positive, because I was stuck at home, and I kept thinking that I'm stuck at home. But then I changed it into, no, I get to be at home, and I get to be paid to be at home and to be safe. And so I just changed it into a positive, and I really focused on, building friendships on here, and, you know, obviously talking with you more. And, you know, Instagram can be whatever you make it. So I love my Instagram page, and I really feel like it did help me through everything through the pandemic, because it was rough. We didn't know what was going to happen, or if we were able to go outside or socialize ever again. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen in the future. So I feel like just really connecting with people that felt the same way, and that were also, depressed because they weren't able to do anything as well. I feel like it did help me. Yeah.
Well, I think too, what you said is you control what happens on your social media, right? And I think that's the hard thing with young teens today is, I mean, even when I think back of how I was, if social media was around when I was in high school, it would have made things a lot worse. I was bullied all through high school, and I can't even imagine what these kids are going through now. To be bullied at school, to be bullied maybe even at home, to now be bullied on, your phone. And I think it's taking that power
Hmm.
and realizing it like, no, I control what is on here. You can delete all those people who are mean to you and are bullying you. You can block them. You can make your profile private if that's the case, or you know what I mean. And you, like I was telling Ashley too, I try not to follow anyone who is, how do I say this, who makes me feel subconscious about my body. So if I personally know that my body image will never be theirs, nor do I want it to be theirs, I don't follow them, because that just puts so much pressure. And the last thing I want to do is to scroll and see all of these bikini photos of a body that I know I can't retain. Like there's just no way that I can get that. And I think that's what's so important is to finding those outlets. I personally love to find people with quotes and captions on Instagram. It's one of my favorite things to do. I literally have so many things saved on my saved account, just on every account that I love to follow that have these quotes that are inspiring, positive, uplifting things, because I feel like that helps me get through my depression. And it makes you feel like you're not alone. And that's what I love about Instagram is that I feel like I am not alone. I'm not the only person who's going through this depression. I'm not the only person who is having this anxiety right now. I'm not the only person who's feeling fat and ugly. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love about it is I don't feel alone. And it is because you choose who is on your account.
Yes.
I choose people who are similar to me. I choose people who have similar political values, who have similar, personal values, who have similar, mindsets, whatever it is, because that's what I gravitate towards, right? That's what's going to help me, encourage me, motivate me, push me to be a better person, not the person who's next door talking hella shit about everyone. Like, why would I want that? And so I think that's what's really important for people to realize about mental health. Yes, social media can be damaging to someone. 100%. Not everyone is going to have it like you, Ashley. You're super strong and you have a lot of willpower, but not everyone's going to have that.
Right.
Okay, so what can they do? First things first, you control your social media,
Yes.
right? Like, I think that would be the start and to help most people out with what's going on. But obviously, we're all different and we all go through things differently. But I think that is the first things people need to realize. I have the control. I have the
Right.
power.
And they really have to take the power back.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, oh, everyone else is bullying me and they have the power. But really, if you block them and get rid of them, then you have the power, like you said, because people were messaging me saying, oh, you shouldn't be buying too many things. And, I was depressed and I was going through it. I'm a shopaholic anyways. But, I was like, this is how I'm coping. I'm sorry. If I want to do online shopping, then I could do online shopping. So mind your business and get out of here. So I had to block people because I'm like, it's none of your business what I'm doing with my money. And, really, I don't know why we're following each other. So
Yeah.
I did have to get rid of people, like you said. And, obviously the body image thing, like you had mentioned, I did have to unfollow people that just made me feel shitty about myself because they're posting these bikini pictures every day. And I'm not going to look like that. And I'm okay that I'm not going to look like that.
Yeah.
But it's just a reminder of what I can never have.
Yeah.
And to have that perfect body, I'm like, no, I don't want to follow that every day and be reminded every day that I will never look like that. But that's okay because I am my own person and I am perfectly imperfect the way that I am. And I don't have to have a size 0 body because I don't want to. Media wants to show you what you can't have, what you should want to be, and unfortunately, I don't want to be that. So I don't want to follow those accounts that make me feel like shit because I do suffer from, body dysmorphia, and I've suffered with it since I was a teenager. Really, when I started to blossom into the, woman body that I have today, it's hard. It's hard to be a woman and see, these other women that really have this, the same figure basically. It just looks like the same figure to me, like just straight, flat, nothing really going on. So I have curves and that is fine, you know? And unfortunately, the media wants you to look at those bodies and think that they're perfect and want you to achieve that and really make you question yourself. And you look at those bodies and in those swimsuits, and then it makes you feel bad about yourself. And like some days I'll feel really good about myself, and then I'll go on Instagram and I'll see someone in a bikini, and then all of a sudden I feel shitty about myself. And that should never happen, you know? So I did have to unfollow people, unfortunately, on social media that made me feel that way. I don't want to see your bikini photo every day anyways, but But unfortunately, social media can be negative in that aspect, as far as body image goes. I've always struggled with my body image, and it is directly linked with mental health, because when I feel bad about my body, it just really affects me, mentally as well. And I can just get myself in this funk. And, through quarantine, I really wasn't going anywhere. So I gained weight. And so it made me feel really shitty about myself. And then I thought about it like, no, my body needed to be home and be safe. And that's fine. I was afraid to go work out outside. I was afraid to go anywhere. Gyms were closed anyways, but not that I was going to the gym, but they were closed. And so it was like, no, you were meant to be at home and you're meant to take care of yourself in other ways. So I really look at it that way now. And I'm starting to really love my body again, because it's a process, and I digressed. So during quarantine, I really started to hate my body again. And then when I dressing up and feeling better about myself, you know, putting on some makeup and putting on a cute outfit, I immediately felt better about myself. And that's fine. And you do have people that are going to tell you, oh, you don't need all that makeup. Oh, you don't need to wear all this clothes. You don't need to shop. And it's like, okay, I know I don't need that, but I love it and it makes me feel good. So, it's just social media can be good and bad. And so,
I think it's people in general because my entire life I've been told I take too many photos. So in high school, I would keep a camera in my backpack every day, all day to capture moments. And I mean, like literally, I've been taking photos for as long as I can remember. And of course, I've had those people over the years. Oh my God, why do you take so many selfies? Why do you take so many photos? Why do you post so much? Now on Facebook, what I do is when I post my photos onto Facebook, that's where I store everything so I can delete them off my phone. But I block or I hide my albums so that no one else can see. Because what used to happen is people would be like, "Oh my God, Tiara, you're posting all these photos," and it's like it's none of your damn business, you know. And so even now with like Instagram, so obviously I went through a terrible depression last year, really bad, with my mental health. And what I started doing back last May, so almost from the beginning of quarantine, I kind of did the same thing that you did, but I did mine with rainbow colors. I, did every color of the rainbow, and I was literally like a pink shirt, pink eyeshadow, pink hair accessory, whatever it was. And I went through and started posting those. And then I did like the browns, the blacks, the white color. And then I was like, okay, well, this made me feel amazing because I, just like you, I feel better when I'm fixed up. It's just who I am. I grew up as a dancer. I grew up, being obsessed with hair and makeup. I was a cosmetologist. I mean, even at work, I remember I would say I was sick and people would say, "Oh my God," I would have no idea.
yeah.
And I'd be like, well, because I try to go extra hard on my makeup because it would make me feel better. If I'm looking in the mirror, last thing I want to do is be like, fuck, I feel like shit and I look like shit, you know? So I would always camouflage how I felt inside with my appearance, because if I can look in the mirror and be like, I feel pretty today, I feel beautiful. Yes, not saying I need makeup to do these things, but it definitely does help. So I did the same thing and I started posting sexier photos, lingerie photos, and I lost a lot of followers. And I was totally fine with it. Like one of the girls who stopped following me, she was actually a really good friend. I consider her a mentor. It actually really did hurt at first. I was kind of offended. And then I had to take a step back and be like, okay, Tiara, it's not about you. She does not like what I'm posting. That's her thing, not mine, right? That either helps her mental health, maybe, she's super religious and I was just being too risque. Maybe whatever the case may be, I was like, okay, I have to realize this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with her, and I have to be okay with it, right? And so I, at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna get all these people judging me. I'm gonna get my in-laws judging me. I always talk to my husband about it, and he'd be like, no, like, post what you gotta post. Like, if this makes you feel good, if this makes you feel sexy, if this makes you feel empowered, you do you, you know, and people really don't realize how amazing it makes you feel. Like it would change my day around. And that's why I almost started getting obsessed with it because you almost get on a high
Yeah. Yeah.
on on that feeling, right? Like, oh my God, I feel so beautiful. Oh my God, I feel so sexy. Oh, look at all these amazing people on my social media are enjoying it, are liking it, are respecting me or whatever it is. But have you ever had it to where you have been on that high and then maybe a post doesn't get as many likes? Has it affected your mental health?
Yes. It did start to, when I went back to work, I wasn't posting because I couldn't post as much anymore. And so every now and then, I would have this idea and I would come up with it, and I thought it came out great, and I would post it, and then not really many people shared it or commented on it or liked it. And so then it made me feel shitty, like, oh, nobody really liked it. And then it was like, oh, well, maybe no one likes really any of my looks. And then I just kind of got in my own head, like, just all these negative thoughts, like, well, why are you even doing this? Well, you're back to work now. Why are you even, why are you even bothering? But then I thought about it and I'm like, no, because it makes me happy. And I don't care. I don't care what anyone else thinks. So, you know what? We're gonna continue to do it. And if I want to post a photo because I feel confident, or if I feel really good in it, or I feel like it looks good, I'm still gonna post it. So then I just really shifted my mindset to focusing on what made me happy, and not necessarily like what how many likes I was getting, or because I was caring, like, oh, look how many likes I have today, or look at, oh my gosh, look at all those likes I have on that photo. And then once it started to decline, as people are going back to work and whatever else, I was just like, oh, well, I guess no one really likes my photos anymore. But then it was like, no, they do. It's just not many people are on Instagram anymore, or what have you, or the algorithm has changed or whatnot. So I just really changed it to, no, you're going to continue to do this because it makes you happy. And it doesn't matter how many likes you get. So yeah, I just continued to do it. But yeah, it did, for a little while, it did upset me when I first went back to work, which it's been a year now since I've been back at work. June, the beginning of June was when we went back officially to work. So, it was like for a few weeks, I was like feeling really shitty about myself. And like, I was finally able to buy clothes again, at TJ Maxx. And I was like, okay, now I have all these ideas. And then it was like, they flopped. And I'm like, oh. So everyone liked the ideas when I was stuck at home and didn't have anything besides what was in my closet. So then I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to buy things just specifically for a look, because that's dumb. I don't need to do that. So it kind of really helped me financially as well, because I didn't have to, I felt like I was putting on a show, like, oh, I have to keep posting every day. No, I have a life, and I work every day, and that's fine. If I don't want to post every day, I don't have to. So before, it was kind of like I felt like that was my job, like I have to post every day. I have to share with my audience what I'm doing and what look I have going on today. And now I'm like, no, I'll post when I want to, and people are going to like it and people are not going to like it, and that's fine. I just do it for me now. So it really, yeah, it really affected me in some weird way. But
Well,
yeah.
I think that happens to all of us, honestly. And when you said it became a job, I have felt the same way. When you're on this streak, you're on this roll where everyone's commenting, everyone's liking, everyone's doing all these things, and you're like, shit, well, I don't want to lose my momentum. Like, I don't want to become irrelevant to social media. I don't want it to be, when we get in our head saying people are going to forget about me. People are going to, or be
Exactly.
like, oh shit, I forgot what happened to that girl Tiara, and we almost have to have our own reality checks and remember the why as to why we did this, right? It's like anything else. When you're in a job and you have those horrible guests, clients, whatever it is, you have to remember and tell yourself, okay, why did I start working here? Why do I choose to work here? Same thing. Why am I posting this stuff on social media? What is the main purpose? It's for myself. It's for my happiness. It's to whatever it is. Like I do it to store a lot of my photos. Like that's kind of why I do it. Like right now I'm posting all my Hawaii photos. That way I can have different places in case some reason I lose them on my phone. I can have them on Instagram. I can have them on Facebook. I can have them saved on my Snapchat. And for that reason. But at the end of the day, you need to stop worrying about what other people think. And I think that's where you hit it so right, Ashley, is you have that already engraved on you that who gives a fuck what people say? Who gives a fuck what people think? Because at the end of the day, they're still going to judge us. They're still going to talk shit. So you got to do what's you because you're the one living with your mental health. You're the one living with your depression, your anxiety, your, whatever it is. So why have those triggers? You're
Yeah.
gonna do you. And I think that's what's so important. And I've told you too before, Ashley, like I love your social media. I love your Instagram because you are super positive. Like I say, you post Disney stuff, you post makeup, you post Halloween, like all these things that I love so much. And even like your captions that you post, it's just everything's so positive. And I think we need that. We need people who are real and genuine and who aren't just trying to sell us their merch or whatever they're selling. People who are trying to sell their soul, right? You shouldn't have to go out there and put it out there. People are going to want to buy it. People are going to want to believe in it. People are going to want to believe in your brand because how authentic and raw you are. And I think you're one of those individuals that I truly highly respect so much on social media because you are an influencer, even if you say it or you're not, you have influenced me just by how positive you are, but also knowing that you are real. I know damn well you're not positive 24/7. I know damn right that you're not happy go lucky rainbows and butterflies every single day of your life. No, like I have seen you be open and vulnerable on your social media. And those are the people I gravitate towards. Those are the people I want to get to know and I want to be friends with because I'm like, no, like that's the real world, right? We've all gone through shit, but what do we do to get ourselves out of it?
Yeah, definitely. And I also noticed like when I went back to work, I didn't think I was going to be more anxious. I didn't think my anxiety was going to be at all-time high. But when I really was called back to work and, I didn't have a choice, I had to go back. I was so anxious. And every day I would leave the house and I was just so anxious and, wearing a mask unfortunately didn't help either. I know you have asthma as well. And so putting on that mask for 10 hours a day really just made me super anxious. And so, unfortunately, my anxiety was at all-time high when I went back to work. And so, I really had to focus on something that would help me. Because when I drive to work, I was like a stress case, like freaking out and I had to be on time and I'm always on time anyways, but I don't know why. I was just freaked out about everything. And like, oh no, if I miss this light, I'm not gonna make it to work. And just little things that would really heighten my anxiety for some reason. Just being out again, I feel like just really made me super anxious. Going to the grocery store made me really anxious. Just being out in public with people and I felt like everyone was too close to me and I was just so anxious and I'm like, okay, what will help me not be so anxious? And so I started to really listen to different songs or different stations. I listened to worship music. I started praying more, and that really helped me with my anxiety because it was really high and I didn't know what to do. And I don't take any medication, and not saying that you shouldn't take medication for it. But I wanted to find something that would really relax me without having to take any sort of medication because I'm already on asthma medication and allergy medication and you name it. And so I'm like, all right, we're not going to do another medication. I'm going to try and find something. So I really focused on just listening to those songs that made me feel really empowered and inspired, and listening to, a Christian radio station on my way to work. I don't change it now. I leave it on the Christian radio station because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel positive, and I need that positivity before I go to work and deal with a bunch of assholes. So, unfortunately, When I went back to work, though, customers were really nice. So that made me feel better. But then as time went on, and we got back into the normal somewhat, now it's like, all right, they're not being so nice anymore. They expect to be treated a certain way or expect, a certain way. And unfortunately, I can't always please everyone. I can't always please the customers. And I'm an empath like you. So it's like, I always want to please people and I always want to make them happy. And I don't want them to leave the store upset. But when they leave upset and angry, I take that on and I have to give myself a break. I have to go to the office and just take off my mask and just have a moment to myself, because I need that. And I notice that if I don't do that, it really carries with me the whole day, and then I just don't let it go, and it really ruins basically my whole day. So I really noticed that I just need to take time for me and just have that little mental health break and just go to the office by myself where I could be alone and just really calm down and drink some water and just reflect on what just happened. And it wasn't me, it was them. They were upset, and I did everything in my power that I could have done. And just to really remember that everyone is human, and unfortunately people don't act a certain way in public, and you would like them to be nice all the time, but that's not reality. So I
I
really had to deal with that.
I think finding what works, right? You said you put on your worship music and that really helps you. You talked about doing your hair, your makeup, putting clothes on that helps. We talked about photo shoots that help. I think that is one of the biggest things in regards to mental health is if you can't see a therapist and you can't get prescribed medicine, once again, that is not for everyone. We are all programmed differently, so we need to find what works for us. I love heart wrenching, heartbreak music, and I will play it on repeat, and I will cry, and I will cry, and I will cry, and I look crazy psycho in my living room. But like that helps for me. Like that really does help. I used to be super stressed at work, and one of my coworkers was huge into meditating, and so she would always be like, Tiara, let's go in the office and let's meditate. I'd be like, and I knew right then and there that meant that I was like freaking the fuck out. But I too, like, okay, this is me time. What does that mean? What do I need to do to prepare for what's next? All right, let me go in my little Zen spot. I meditate during my tattoos. Honestly, this last one I did really well. I mean, I took an anxiety pill ahead of time because I was freaking out because it had been over a year since I had one done. But I like sat there and I meditated, and my husband was like, well, does it hurt? And I'm like, right now, no. I'm like, I am so zen up here
Right.
that I didn't feel anything, like anything, which is so crazy because I am like the biggest baby. I feel everything. And meditating has definitely helped me. It helped center me. It's helped control me. Does it work all the time? No. Does crying to music help all the time? No. Does my Xanax help all the time? No. But we all have to figure out what works for us and use it, utilize it. There's times where I don't even want to put makeup on.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to waste that. And I start going down this damn rabbit hole. Oh my God, it's going to cost me this. It's going to be this. I'm going to have it on for an hour. And then I've just wasted all this makeup. And then what? And then if I don't get any likes on my photo, and then I just wasted all this money, so it doesn't always work. But what I'm trying to get across to everyone is you got to find what works for you. What works for me may not work for Ashley. What works for Ashley may not work for you. So you just got to figure it out. But there is outlets. There's so many people out there, especially social media. Start following those Instagram accounts that will help boost your mental health. Like that is so huge, a huge thing to do.
Yeah.
But Ashley, we're coming close to an end. Is there anything that you'd like to say to finish up your chapter on mental health?
Yeah. So I just wanted to reiterate what you said, is just to really find something that works for you. Just because I have cry sessions, and that makes me feel better for some reason. When I watch sad movies, I love watching sad movies and just crying it out. Or, listening to worship music or putting on makeup. Just because that works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. but I really highly encourage you to figure out what is going to work for you and to really just talk it out. And it's okay to not be okay, but please don't stay that way. You need to make sure that you're talking about your mental health and really making it known that you are struggling, and people will want to help you. And whether that be a professional or a friend, or someone that you don't even know on social media, so really just finding what works for you. And yeah,
I
that's
love what you said, and I'm going to be making that my next quote on Chasing Rainbows. It's okay not to be okay, but please don't stay that way.
all.
Like, that was so golden.
Thank you.
I am obsessed. Well, it won't be my next Chasing Rainbows because I already have 2 made, but it'll be out there soon.
Coming soon.
But other than that, it's funny how you were saying you watch sad movies. I am the opposite. I cannot watch anything that makes me cry in regards to a movie. If I know it's sad, it is not on my list. My go-to movies is Trolls.
Oh,
Anytime, actually, when I'm sad, Trolls the movie and Trolls the soundtracks are my go-to. My husband already knows when I'm having a rough day, we'll get in his car and he puts on Trolls. Like, he already knows it's gonna change my mood around because it just makes me so happy. Like, there's nothing else in the world that makes me happier than Trolls. It's just, I get so excited. So yeah, I'm so opposite. I need happiness. I can't cry when it comes to like movies,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. It's just people keep fighting the fight. Like I keep saying, keep fighting the fight. Don't give up. There are better days. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is. You have to have hope. You have to have faith that it will be better. You have to. It takes practice. It takes time to work on your mind to make it a little bit more positive light. Just because you are a positive person does not mean you have to be positive every day. Please don't forget that like Ashley said, we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all have our ups. We all have our downs. We're all sometimes living on a roller coaster, and it makes it okay. It's fine. Don't stay that way, right?
Right.
Please don't stay that way. All righty, let's go ahead and close this chapter with the last final cheers.
Cheers.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for watching chapter 36 with Ashley. Bye.
Bye.